Jobbers podcast. I am, of course, Ginger Heat, but I am not alone in being a jobber. There are a couple jobbers with you. I was going to say four, but I'm the fourth. Math is hard. Who do you want to start with? I don't know. This is crazy. I'm botching this intro as usual, but let's kick it off a little bit different this time. Let's kick it off with the man whose day it is pretty much, because NXT had a pay-per-view, and he is our resident NXT expert. He is the son of the dentist. He is the waxy snake. He is the master of milk. He is Ryan the Wax Mamba. How you doing this week, buddy? This is your week. What's going on?
This is my week. It's going well. I almost had a little catastrophe with my beverage. I was taking a sip. I didn't expect to be introduced first. And Jordan, actually, all of you have some facial hair. Has it ever happened where you pull away and your mustache hair gets stuck in the can?
Yes.
I had that, so I almost introduced
Jason
myself
from
being
a
like,
bottle,
hello.
so.
Burst into tears and... But we're good.
Start, but it's all good.
We're good. It's NXT week. It's the 1 week of the year where these freaks actually pretend to care about NXT for a little bit. Brad's wearing a cross shirt. No, it's not the 1 week a year. It's 1 week a month, basically. But I'll take it. Yeah. I will take it. I'm ready to get in your house.
In your house, indeed. And there is a man in his house, but he's changing houses soon. And in his name, he has an ode to Scotland, but he loves to poke fun at the Scottish soccer team, and he loves to poke fun at the Scottish people. But he is the enigmatic, the charismatic, the bizarre, the mysterious, the wonderful. They hate Jason. Jason, the brave heart. How you doing, buddy? Are you going to enact prima noctra on this podcast, or what?
Maybe. If you test me.
Ooh.
I might have to use what I'm allowed to use. I am the best jobber, and I'm clearly the jobber with a
big, humongous, gigantic, unmatched brain. Big,
unmatched brain. The jobbers have drops. The jobber drops shall be dropping. That's all that really matters. Who cares about me? Let's move on to someone else.
All right, well, let's move on. I always have to save the best for last. No, I'm only doing it this once. He is, of course, the buddy from Kirkcaldy, Jordan Deves. How you doing this week, my friend?
Yeah, feeling good, buddy. Feeling good. There's been some heartache, of course. I'm sure we can talk about the Euro 2020 being played in 2021.
I thought you were going to talk about the Habs, to be honest. I mean, after last night's performance, us Montreal Canadian fans cannot say much, can we?
I don't know if I can deal with these jobber drops.
It's so loud in our ears. The laugh track is
It's
a
so
bad
loud.
laugh track. And it's,
I get lower.
I hope it doesn't kill everybody's
That's
ears
okay.
out there when they hear this.
No, wait. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, that's much more.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you.
we Cool.
In classic
Great.
jobber
I'm
fashion,
glad-
we did not practice. We did not prepare for this.
Nope.
As usual, we just jump into it, and Jason has some sort of half-assed attempt
we
at
forgot,
drops, but it should be entertaining. Here we go.
We forgot the intro. All right, carry on.
Well, thank you, Jason. As you can
Here
see,
we go.
if you've never listened to the
Let's
four
go.
jobbers before, man, oh man, sometimes we go off the rails a little bit, but that's why we're called jobbers, because of this type of situation. So we like to keep this podcast a little free-flowing, but we do have some segments and things that we get into. We have one good, one pish that we usually cover a pay-per-view or the week that was in terms of the wrestling shows that happened. We usually cover NXT, Raw, SmackDown, AEW, and whatever other pay-per-views there are, but we don't go too much into New Japan or Impact Wrestling or anything like that. But yet, it was a crazy week because there was a lot of wrestling and there was a pay-per-view. Ryan, is there anything you guys want to say before this? Before we get into that segment, is there any questions you guys have or any news that you guys want to talk about in the world of wrestling? Or in the regular world, I guess, if there's something you want to talk about.
I guess from the world of wrestling, obviously we spoke last week about some of the releases from the company. Obviously, it's been a week of speculation on certain talent. It seems like we're kind of expecting that Alistair Black / Tommy End, whatever his name is going to be, is going to end up on AEW.
And he has a no-compete clause right now? Is that why he can't just join them right away? There's some sort of rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with all of them. I think it's kind of
custom.
So they don't mark it on the fact that we know they've been released, so instantly they appear on something else, Let the heat kind of die down a little bit. But yeah, it seems like he's probably going to go there.
It must be for belts too, right? Because technically, if you were to just like quit one day, you're not allowed to show up the next day on AEW with a WWE championship.
It's a good point. Yeah, we should call it the Alundra Blaze clause.
Yes.
Yes, double drop. I love it. Well done, Chase. So yeah, it's there's been some more news. Obviously, it seems like Braun Strowman or Adam Scher or whatever his name is, he doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But the big one that I've been hearing is Samoa Joe being spotted at the what do you call it again?
Performance Center.
Performance Center. Yeah.
Or the Capital Wrestling
that
Center.
That does tie in a little bit with something that happened on NXT, so we'll park it.
Tie a bow on Joe for now.
Okay, well then no, keep going.
No, the other thing is that the rumors are circling around is that there may be more names to come in the interest of budget cuts. We may not have seen the last of WWE personnel on the free agent market. I haven't heard anything. I don't think any of us have in terms of specific names or even sort of, I guess, tiers or echelons or whatnot. It just says maybe more coming. So
it's interesting, though.
And they might be clearing room not only to make the company more attractive to sell, but also you can bring in some big names. For example, huge name being floated around is John Cena. We haven't seen him in quite a while. Can you ever see him? I don't know.
Never have.
I've never seen him before.
I'm told they can't.
We cannot see this man. But he may make an appearance on the show again, because he was talking to some reporters recently about if he were to come back, would it be a heel run? Would it be a face run? And it would take a lot, I think, for John Cena to be turned into a full-blown heel. How do you not cheer this man when he comes back, right? Unless they must... there's stuff we could probably think of creatively, but knowing WWE, will they do like a Bret Hart, Steve Austin switch? I know, Jason, you just watched that match. Was it actually as spectacular as we all remember?
Yeah, if not maybe even more.
Really?
Looking at
I haven't watched it in years.
Some of the types of matches we have today. You go back and watch that. It's a masterful performance. And I will cheer for John Cena if he comes back without his corporate haircut. If he leaves his wipeout haircut at home, then I'll cheer.
Wipeout right now, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's available on Crave, and it's produced by John Cena. And it's still Wipeout. It's still funny, but it's John Cena in this role or whatever is not my favorite. And then they don't show the course and the incident that happens. They constantly zoomed. It's like it's produced by WWE. It's just
more edited than a WWE pay-per-view build-up montage.
Oh my God, yeah.
I suppose Brock Lesnar is always a name that's floated around. I didn't mean to cut off the drop there, but
no, he gave himself a laugh. It's
somebody has to.
As long as Brock lives and breathes, there's always the rumor he'll be back or he'll come back. Breathes.
He can do whatever he wants, I guess.
Breathes and
probably does
breathes
both,
and breathes. That's a good new T-shirt. I breathe and I breathe.
Eat, sleep, breed, repeat, or something.
Breathe,
like that.
bleed, and breathe.
I thought that was Becky's return.
I'd still buy it.
But Jason, what about Bret Hart's performance in that match? Is he really the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be? Because would Steve Austin be what he is today without Bret? I don't know.
One thing I noticed with Bret Hart matches is pretty early on he starts doing this.
He looks tired. He looks dead.
Walks around with his a mouth breather, but it's really impact. It really works. It's always worked. They sold the injuries. It was a great match. Go back and watch it. It wasn't even that long. It didn't feel. I don't know if it is long. I have to look it up, but it didn't feel long.
That's important because even the Shawn Michaels Bret match. I mean, sometimes it doesn't feel long, but recently when you watch it, in today's generation, I wonder if they would think of a match like that being an hour plus. You know, like, can they keep their can a match keep your attention that long anymore?
Well, no. But
Unless
the
it's a
thing I
rumble.
like about the Austin is like, you know, he passed out, didn't give up.
Yeah.
But it's like he was trying so hard to break free, and he did break the hold enough, but he was so tired from breaking it that he couldn't get away, and eventually he just pulled him back into it. So it's like realistic, you know? Not just like broke free and he's good to go. He gets up and starts kicking.
The cover of WWE magazine, like after that match, and it had like they had to put like a cover on it with the blood, and like you weren't able to see it at the Dépanneur or your favorite chippy magazine store. I don't know, where do you buy magazines in the UK anymore?
Chippy.
Weatherspoons?
Just the corner shop.
Drugstore.
Just the corner shop.
store.
Oh yeah, because the corner shops, they're usually like a grocery store chain,
Bodega.
which is cool though. Kind of at the end of my street in
Dallas.
Edinburgh. It was great.
Whoa.
That was not plugged in. That was an authentic jobber.
It's an
drop
internal
right
drop.
there.
That was that jobber.
Oh my
Dropped something.
Woo.
But
Brought to you by Riverside. Wax.
So they're going to call us and say, no, take our name off of that one. Yes, okay. I guess we'll start off the wrestling portion of the show with the pay-per-view that just happened this past Sunday. And it was indeed NXT's In Your House. NXT TakeOver In Your House. We had a nice 5-match card. Pretty succinct pay-per-view. At times went on a bit longer than it needed to, but why don't we go right into it? I like that they had Todd Pettengill coming back, introducing. They had a nice little retro style promo at the beginning. They really, I do like how they go all in with these old school.
I like how they made it seem like he'd been frozen in time since the last. You know, he's like, what's VHS? What's digital? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just
He's frozen.
I expect goofiness from him. That's what I want. I don't want him to.
No,
come
that's
into the-
okay. They should bring him back. He's still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good actually. What about Michael P.S. Hayes?
Oh, it's Doc Hendricks.
Doc Hendricks.
It's funny, when I grew up, I thought he was just this jobber, funny-looking guy,
Yeah.
Doc Hendricks.
who's
Who the
this
hell
old
is this?
jerk?
But he has so much to do with the behind the scenes and
yeah.
so many. He was the fabulous Freebirds, all that. I didn't know who they were.
He sits,
Jobber,
he's-
Doc
He
Hendricks.
sits like right next to Vince, I think, in gorilla position.
I know.
Wow.
Every
It's
show.
funny, and you think he's just some loser, Doc
Yeah,
Hendricks.
he's there.
I hope A&E does a bio on him.
That'd be interesting. I bet he'd have
That'd
a
be a
lot
good one.
to say.
I'd
Seems like a
watch
cool
that.
guy.
Yeah.
Doc.
But yes, so why don't we jump right into the first of our 5 matches? We had an winner-take-all match by means of a 6-man tag. It was Bronson Reed versus MSK against all 3 members of Legado del Fantasma, and it was Bronson Reed, MSK retaining the title. It's at their titles, all of their titles, at the end of the day. I'll plug in Lewis right here. He said it was great narrative, amazing spots, interesting ring psychology. He says 5-on-5 start from him. I have to somewhat disagree with Lewis here. The match was fine. The wrestling quality was fine. The stakes didn't seem there for me. This was a feud that they had built between Santos and Bronson Reed for maybe 2 weeks, I think, at most. Even MSK Legado. I think MSK, and we kind of talked about this, all 4 of us on the night of, MSK is just not sticking right now with me, and it doesn't seem like they're sticking with the fans either. Maybe it's because, again, Legado is really, really, really good. Like, I love Legado del Fantasma as a stable, and I didn't at first. I've come around on them because I get it. But MSK, they're just not doing anything for me. Bronson's great, like him, but even he needs to sort of find something more punchy as a gimmick, and MSK absolutely does. They can't just be the cool guys who do flips and jump around.
I don't like their name.
Yeah, I forget what
Yeah,
it stands
what
for.
does it
3
stand
letters
for?
don't draw you in. I forgot what they were throughout the whole match. MKG, SKM. It didn't matter.
Machine
Yeah.
Ship Kelly.
But they were super entertaining, and I do want to know more about them. I just don't, like the name.
That's what brought it down for me. Everything else in the match is good. Everything else in the match is on. But I felt like the missing piece of that storyline is MSK. I don't care.
Is that the first time they worked together?
Like everything else is good except for them.
With the angry Funkasaurus? Is that the first time they worked together?
The three of them
as a three-way.
Yeah.
Because they look legit.
They've had like their little spats
really...
over the last 2 weeks, but they haven't actually all fought together. I don't think.
Well, no. Is that the first time those three teamed up?
I think so.
Yes,
So
formally yes. Like
legit.
Bronson's come in to save them a couple times because, and that's
They
sort
work
of how
well
it
together.
came together. They do,
right.
yeah.
That is good.
There was good spots, good wrestling. I mean, shout out to Santos. He'd been the cruiserweight champion for a while, so I always sort of saw him as a lower weight class.
Me too.
But he picked up and slammed Bronson Reed. That's no easy task. He full out did it. So I don't think my opinion of this match is as high as Lewis's.
Yeah, he was a mark for it.
Which is rare. He hates everything, so I don't know what happened
It's like
there.
the best match he's ever seen in his life.
Vegan Daddy, get your ass back on this podcast. So I want you to explain yourself for this rating.
That's right. Anyone else? Yeah.
What? If I watched the match, so I watched it obviously the day later, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I just didn't care about who was in the match, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe if you had that exact same match with a tag team that I care about, let's say Grizzled Young Vets, because I actually enjoy watching them and I like that dynamic.
Versus RK Bro.
Let's go. Let's go. You give me that, but exactly the same match in terms of spots and everything. Would I have enjoyed it more? Yeah, maybe.
I don't think those guys would do those spots. I should have picked a better example.
Yeah, maybe not. But
I want to see Randy do those.
Either way.
But like,
I know what you mean.
I think part of it is I don't care about that tag team. I do quite like Legado. I think they've got a good gimmick in that they're kind of like they're a stable as such. The fact that Bronson Reed was like, yeah, hey, why don't we have a match? And it'll be, well, actually it wasn't Bronson, but like if a guy said to me, I want to challenge you for your title, but also I want my pals to challenge for that at the same time, no, we're not friends. We've just met each other a couple of weeks ago.
Did William Regal and
I'm not going to put my titles on the line so that you can have a match. Piss off. So I didn't really understand it. It was fine, just not my kind of thing.
Yeah, again, as the milky representative, I thought the wrestling content was good. It was a good wrestling match. So I can give it a higher score on wrestling quality.
Yeah.
But in terms of just, did I enjoy it as a holistic thing? Not as much. Not as much. Just, it didn't resonate.
It's a pretty good example of a great match that doesn't have a lot of story, and this is where I feel, I always bring up story, like I always friggin' bring it up, but here's an example, these guys deserved a better story for the match that they put on, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't even, and maybe I missed something a few weeks back, I don't even know why Legado and MSK were fighting each other in the first place, because that's sort of how Bronson got involved, is Santos came out and attacked MSK, and then Bronson came out with the save. Like, we'll use the other tag team feud that's going on, Grizzled Young Veterans, Ciampa and Thatcher. I get it. They're fighting each other. They're two different sort of walks of life, a little bit, two different philosophies. I get that. I'm excited for when they're actually going to do a tornado tag match in tonight's NXT episode. So that should be good. But I still don't completely understand why Legado and MSK are in conflict.
Did you see that promo by Ciampa and Thatcher where they're just like looking over the camera and Ciampa's just like screaming and his ugly face is just beside him? Like, this is what I'm getting from this match, okay? Grizzled Young Vets are two grizzled young veterans that are tough as nails. These two guys, two grizzled young veterans who are tough as fuck, and they're going to fight, and we're going to enjoy it. And I understand that all of them are very tough, and they're going to beat each other up. And isn't that the whole point of all of this? So I'm definitely all in on that.
Yeah. One team likes to fight, the other team likes to fight. That's enough.
Let's go
This
fight.
I didn't
Let's
get.
prove
I
who's
didn't
better,
get.
who's tougher. Show me. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, any other comments on this first match?
Yes.
Okay.
and I have half the brain that you do.
That's it.
That's it. That's your comment.
All
on
right.
it?
There's another jobber drop from Jason.
Did you like that promo, Jason, of Ciampa and Thatcher? Did you see it?
Yeah, I liked it. I've always liked.
Because I know you like grizzled young
Ciampa.
vets, so I was wondering about the other two.
I don't know much about them. I only saw them
That's
a
fair.
couple of their matches, and I liked them quickly. You know, they resonated with me. But Ciampa, yeah, I've always liked Ciampa. He's like a mini Triple H ever since he came back, like super jacked, and he was
Yeah.
pushed to the top. He was the champ at one point, right?
Mhm.
And he was
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like undefeatable. I don't know who beat him. Who beat him eventually?
Wasn't it?
Was it
It
Gargano?
might have been Gargano
partner.
or
Yeah.
They had like
Yeah.
a million death matches, and
Yeah.
they were all good. So I'm all in on Ciampa. I don't know the other guy, but it was a good promo. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need to know too much about Thatcher. You just look at him and you're like, okay, I get it.
Thatcher.
Thatcher.
He's
Yeah,
cut about with
he's a
3 teeth.
tough, but more technical than Ciampa is. Whereas Ciampa's like a brawler. Thatcher, his whole
Ciampa
thing
and
was
Ciampa?
he had students watch him while he wrestled, and he would like kind of do like a bit of a Alpha Academy, Angle Academy, whatever you want to say. He was that for a bit, and then he became the fight pit and all that. But I guess we can go to match 2, and this match I'd say was probably the low for me of the night, and it was Xia Li versus Mercedes Martinez with Zaya's whole clique behind her. And yeah, just again, Lewis put it pretty well as like sort of an injury spot match. I don't think it makes Xia look super great even if she won. The ending was pretty weak, just sort of with like, I get it's supposed to be like a pretty brutal martial artsy style kick. I didn't think that was believable to put Mercedes down like that, like it did. I remember just being like, wait, that's it? It's over? Otherwise, it was solid action, but I think this kind of drove home why these supernaturally stories don't resonate a ton with me anymore, because at the end of the match, after the match, you have Mei Ying, I think, come up and sort of choke Mercedes down. I don't know. I guess May's supposed to be this supernatural being, but I have trouble believing in any feud that can develop here, because well, Mercedes is supposed to be the super tough badass, which she is, but no one theoretically can beat someone who has supernatural ability, right? In theory, nobody should be able to beat this person. And so I have trouble, again, getting super on board with this. And I don't completely understand, again, maybe it's on me and I missed something. I don't understand why this feud has begun to... They kind of sold that it was like 4 years ago they fought in a Mae Young Classic match, which, yeah, I don't buy. But, yeah, it ended a bit abruptly for me. It was a fine match, but not super interested in it.
This was a good example of they wanted the match to happen and they wanted Xia Li to win, but they didn't want Mercedes to look weak. And I think they struggled to book that. So what they did was they just had, right, we'll tell you what we'll make happen is Mercedes will just be in control the entire match, but Xia Li will still get the win. Well, that doesn't make Xia Li look tough while protecting Mercedes. All that does is just make a confusing moment for everybody involved.
You could
Like-
go as far as saying it made Xia Li look weak. Like coming out of this match, I think less of her as as like this someone that she should.
I don't know.
Her character before all of this stuff should have been able to have a match in which I believe she's going to beat her clean.
A back and forth.
Exactly, and that's
yeah.
like
I don't think it makes her look weak necessarily. I just don't know what I
For
think.
me,
like,
weakens
if I try to think,
slightly.
where does she? Okay, I just don't know where she fits because I'm like, okay, let's work out where she's going to be in that ranking. of
lower
all
than the other two
superstars,
after
right?
all of this, right?
That's
But then she got the win.
exactly where
So if the one thing that we want or one thing we talk about is wins and losses mattering, then she got the win. So
Was it
she's better
clean?
than them. Still a win. I mean, I understand your point,
Yeah.
but
It's an asterisk.
I got to the end of that match and went, I don't really know what I feel about any of this. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't make Mei
nobody,
Ying look.
Nobody
good.
looks strong. Nobody looks
No.
weak. And then suddenly there's this weird old woman that looks like
Yeah.
the chick for the ring that's throwing people off the stage and stuff. Like, I don't really get
I
it.
think this is just the wrong matchup.
Yep,
You know, they
exactly.
repackaged Xia Li a few months ago, and she hadn't really done anything with it. They repacked, you know, she was kind of like a baby face, but in no man's land before. She went away for a bit. She became this badass heel with a new sort of like spiritual, even a physical like guidance. And I think they should have left Mei Ying as just that, not an active character, because now you have this force, and I don't think Mei Ying is meant to be someone who goes and wins, let's say, the NXT Women's Championship. She's I always pictured her, and Boa also, as like an accessory to Xia Li, but
It's
Yep.
essentially a manager. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
but
Oh, that's what I thought it was going to be.
Mercedes was the wrong opponent. If they want to put Xia over like this, Mercedes was not the right person to do it
Don't
against.
they
I
have
could have seen it
new
against
people that I don't even like? There's like Cora Jade, Gigi
There's-
Dolan.
yeah.
Like you can't put
there's
them
you
against
could have
them
put
to
a-
make them look good. Like they can still, like them in this feud makes so much more sense. Like it's like they're trying to force something on both of these. They're like, we need to put you in
Yeah.
something.
You
You're
could
both
have
great.
put a Zeta Rainier in it. You could have put a Zoe Stark in it.
There we go. Yeah,
You
Zoe
could
would've
have
been
put a
fine, too.
Saray in it. We haven't seen Saray in like a couple weeks.
Yeah, I
after
think
they
they're
hyped
building
up
her into some.
They are, but
I don't know.
I just think Mercedes, being who
You're right,
she
bad
is,
choice.
it just wasn't a good choice for this feud, and
No.
hence they didn't have anything for it. And they said, "Here's a match 4 years ago that no one remembered. Guaranteed, nobody remembered that. That now they have to push as this was this big turning point for either of them when it
Yeah.
wasn't."
Ah, Kai.
If you're wanting salt and
We-
sauce with that, give me an Hawkeye.
Okay.
All right. Any other thoughts?
Constituted, dried up, old milk dust there. Nothing.
Yeah, curdled milk,
proper
spoiled
milky.
milk,
Yeah,
milk that's
horrible.
been left in the sun for
Ah,
a couple weeks.
like
but
cat milk. Like
Cat milk. Wow, you ever milked a cat?
no, but I have actually drank cat milk.
oh, why?
I think that's worse.
Why? I think I was drunk.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Who had it? I don't know. That's a
Yeah,
great
what's
one.
the?
I was round
That's
at
a
a
great
mate's
job.
house. We were drunk, and
What else is new?
yeah, somebody had cat milk. It was like in a tube. Actually, it was kind of like toothpaste. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe it was toothpaste.
Did it taste?
It was in a
mint?
tube, but it tasted like toothpaste.
Milk
Nah, it
paste.
tasted like
Milk paste.
milk paste. I don't. Yeah, like, I think it
Mm.
was Polish. I feel like it was from Poland.
Well,
I maybe need to look into
I believe it.
that.
I
think-
mean, whatever.
on that note, I'm gonna bring us back.
ever had
here
milk from my
because I think Jordan's got to have a little thought about what he actually ingested that night. Let's go to the midpoint of the card, and it was the ladder match for the $1 million championship. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. I thought this was a great match. I again disagree with Lewis. It didn't feel too long to me. It didn't feel like it lulled too much. There you go, Jason, with the LA Knight
Oh my
shirt.
goodness.
New merch.
and I also, yeah, hey,
Oh.
it would work. I also disagree with Lewis that Grimes was not the logical person to win this belt. I think LA Knight is the right winner. This is the only match of the night that I wasn't sure who would win, but to me, I like DiBiase as a foil to Grimes. I don't want them to team up. I kind of like them to butt heads with LA Knight as the guy. It builds up LA Knight, which they obviously want to do, and it still gives Grimes the legitimacy, because if he wins that $1 million belt, where does he go? He kind of plateaus.
To the moon.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
I was hoping that this would lead to LA Knight coming up. Either way, if he wins, him and Ted DiBiase go up. If he lost, Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase keep doing their thing in NXT, and LA Knight can move on. But maybe that was wishful thinking, as
He
it
still
seems like
can.
they're going to continue.
He
Yeah,
still
maybe they
can.
will. I don't know. That was my hope.
I still think they want to let LA Knight marinate a bit in NXT, but I do think It was a solid match. I like the way they used the ladders. Jason,
Marinating for 40 years. Bring them up.
I want to hear from you, but because I know how you feel about ladder matches. For me,
LA
this
Knight.
didn't feel like too much of a spot fest. I think they kind of floated pretty well, but I want to hear your thoughts, especially because LA Knight is your new guy. So,
did I say I don't like ladder matches?
yeah, I thought you said they were too spot filled. Was that you? Or was that ladder matches?
Yeah, he did.
I said that.
TLC matches, maybe. Ladder
Maybe
matches?
TLC
Probably
matches.
also. I mean, he hates
Maybe.
everything. It's
Yeah, I
You
love
can't
lose
keep
track
track.
with all I hate. But this
You
one
should make a
was
list.
I like Money in the Bank is
It should
my
make the
probably
list.
my second favorite pay-per-view.
Hmm.
So if it's for like a shot at the title or for a title hanging above the ring, like it makes sense. I like it. This was 1-on-1. LA Knight is my guy. I don't even really like Cameron Grimes. Like, I appreciate what he's doing. Sometimes it feels a little bit too like Roger Rabbit, over the top crazy guy. But I mean, I don't know him enough yet. I'm still new to him. But right away, for some reason, LA Knight, maybe because he's a vet, he's 38 years old. I don't know. Like, he's been doing it, and I didn't know who he was before. But right away, I connected with him. And I am kind of worried that maybe he gets this belt and he just gets beat up on every week, you know, like someone else chases, like he's just one of the $1 Million Man's lackeys. But at least he has like a spot, and he will be showcased every week. He'll get his chances. I don't know. I don't know what they plan to do with him.
Ted
but he is
DiBiase's not
very
going to have a
entertaining.
chance to speak. Like, isn't that part of his role of being a manager? Always talks, but LA Knight never shuts up.
I don't know if Ted DiBiase is going to be the manager for LA Knight. I think he's just going to be around.
It's too soon to tell what they're even going to do with it. I mean, I'm happy he won, just because it's good to get some wins and make him legit. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know.
I don't know!
I do think it was the right move to put the belt on LA Knight over
Yeah, I agree.
Cameron Grimes. I don't like Cameron Grimes' theme song. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion. I love LA Knight's theme song.
Both of theirs.
LA
Oh, you
Knights.
love it?
I like
There's a
it,
guy
yeah.
called Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, but I don't like it's too
Cutting about busting
Cartoonish.
rhymes.
Yeah.
it's too cartoonish. LA Knights is good in my opinion.
What's Cameron Grimes' character? He's like this hick that came into money and won the lotto or
he
something?
was this
Well, remember-
hick carnival, like carny almost, like
Carney.
redneck. And then he went away for a month and he bet all his money on GameStop stocks, and he
Oh my.
That's why he says
became
to the
this,
moon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what they say in the Reddit.
So
Oh, in
before
the
this,
Reddit.
was he as crazy and
Yeah,
wild?
he's
Or
still him.
he's
It's just his him
Oh, he
with
was
money
always
now.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just him with money. Yeah.
him with money, so it's worse. It's like times 100. Okay.
Basically.
I'm just interested to see what they do with this belt. Like, you can't.
Will he defend it?
Like, is it a belt that they defend?
Is he allowed to
or
wear it? Does it
is-
stay in a case?
He can't
that's-
leave that case.
I don't know. It doesn't
see,
look like
yeah.
it's going to fit anybody. I mean, it looks smaller.
You have to
than
carry
the
around the
AEW
see-through
women's
book
belt.
fucking
but-
thing for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I don't really know what it is. Is it a trophy or is it a actual championship?
Right.
I'm not sure.
I guess that'll be
But,
revealed.
It's.
Mm.
I'm excited to see what they do with LA Knight. As my name shows tonight, LA Deeves. I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was class. I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of. The one thing I was worried about is that it would be all about trying to show Ted DiBiase what they could do. So, and there was a little bit of, right, watch this, Ted, I'm going to do this. But I was worried that the whole match was going to be dominated by that, and it wasn't. They just got on with the match for the most part. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with the belt and with Ted DiBiase. Like, is he going to stick around, or is he handed over the belt and that's it done? Or, like, I think AEW have the AEW Diamond Ring, the MJF was one that they
right.
basically they compete for the Diamond Ring once a year. Kind of like Money in the Bank, I guess. And I wonder if maybe they'll do something like that in NXT, where you have a yearly trophy as such, and it's the $1 million belt. Like, it's just some, I guess it's something you could look forward to every year. You go on, we know that in June there's the $1 million champion. I don't know, just something like that might be quite cool.
It was time for LA Knight to get a big win, especially because, again, he was someone who came into NXT with a lot of fanfare, being Eli Drake, having the reputation he has outside of WWE, and he had been losing. Like, he had been winning on NXT, and then he'd be losing at takeovers, and that was only going to make... It kind of made sense in some points, but it didn't make sense here. It made sense for him to finally win and get some momentum. Yeah. But, yeah, this is a solid match. I really enjoyed it. Again, I like that they did build up to the golden ladder at the end, like climbing the ladder.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
My favorite. I
yes, yeah.
guys about that. My favorite thing about that entire kind of spot, I guess, is for 15 minutes or so in the lead up to the match and during the match, you've got Wade Barrett cutting about going, obviously we don't have the solid gold ladder here tonight because it's too heavy for anybody to pick up. It's obviously not here because it's too heavy for anyone to pick up. It's at the top. He goes, Cameron Grimes. It's not even LA Knight that gets it. It's Cameron Grimes. And he literally just picks it up, walks down to the ring. Well, of course I was wrong. That ladder must be gold-plated. It's not solid gold because he picked it up with ease.
That's good.
Great.
I
love it.
I love it.
See if he just ignored it and went, oh, crap, I've kind of made...
Yeah, I think
I
we
made an ass of myself.
I'd be like, we would have picked up on it and been like, come on, mate, you're better than that. But he made a mistake.
That's what we criticize Michael Cole and Byron Saxton and all these guys for doing it. William Regal he turns it into a funny moment. Shout out to the announcers also, all wearing old school tuxedos, including Beth Phoenix with a nice bedazzled gold one. Some very, very old school style. Gotta give respect. But let's move on, unless someone else has a comment on this ladder match. Let's move on to the NXT Women's Championship match. It was Raquel Gonzalez against Ember Moon. Again, good match. Lots of great spots. I liked the storytelling to an extent. There is one thing that really bugged me. I mentioned it on Sunday evening because I like that Dakota Kai is still with Raquel, and she was there being annoying, getting in the way, interfering, and then towards the end of the match, Shotzi Blackheart, who is Ember Moon's tag team partner, runs out. Oh my God, Shotzi! And chases her back. And my one, maybe I'm thinking about this too much like a smark, but why wasn't Shotzi out there from the beginning? You knew Dakota was going to be out there. You knew Dakota was going to get involved.
She was hurt, wasn't she? And this was her return.
Yes, she was supposed to be injured, so we wouldn't have
expected.
Right,
if she's well enough to chase her, maybe she should have been out there from the start. Like,
but was she watching in the back? And she's like, all right, now's the time.
Yeah, if she's hurt, keep her out.
The hurt thing.
Don't bring her out.
Did she come straight from the hospital and she got there as fast as she could?
This is her return from injury. Is this?
Have a bandage on her. Have her looking like she's in pain.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to say she's hurt, keep her in the back or continue from that. Don't just have her running out looking like she's fresh.
Or make her look hurt. Yeah, even like a bandage on. And it's like she just couldn't sit in the back and watch any longer. She had to come out.
Yeah, maybe even have like a team like a doctor, like try and like hold her back or something.
Yeah.
Something.
And if you hear this, WWE, of course you're listening. There is a chance to redeem yourself. You could explain it and be like, I wanted to let you have this win. I knew you could beat them both on your own, but they just became too much, so I ran out. Like, there's a way I think you could cover your ass.
All these
but
little things can be
chances
undone.
are they're gonna just keep going. Don't forget.
I love Shotzi. Like, I think she's great. I think,
it's not her fault.
She would. That's not her fault at all. She's following what they tell her to do.
She did a good job chasing her away. It was funny. Her and Dakota Kai is.
I love how they're building Raquel. I think she is going to be an absolute powerhouse. She's got the, what's it called? The Chingona Powerbomb, which that's a wrestling finisher. Although they call them now signature moves, so I think they take away the finisher moniker because we know that nobody's finisher actually finishes a match these days. But it's a matter of time. Let Raquel have a nice dominant run with the women's belt. Bring her up. And, I'm excited to see what she can do. She's gotten a lot better in the ring as well. I think they kind of were banking on that, because even as early as War Games was when they really first started making her look dominant. I still felt that there were some missing parts there, but to her credit, I'm sure it's stuff she's working out, and they're playing to her strengths, which is strength, quite literally. So, good match. I figured Raquel was going to win. I do agree with Lewis. Maybe, again, decouple the main title with the tag team title a little bit. I get you have Dakota there, who is Raquel's friend,
But
teammate.
that's a problem. That's a problem with WWE in general.
Yes.
That their women's tag titles seem to be involved in the main titles on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So that seems to be the angle that they look at it. I don't understand it, and I hate it. Change it, WWE. But yeah.
No, let's fire more women, because we have too many women, apparently, even
Yeah,
though we
too
don't
many.
know how to,
We're stuck with
gonna
Mandy
make that a
Rose
drop.
and Dana Brooke.
Eva Marie.
Jason's good of the week
Let's
was
fire more women. The wax drop.
Oh, God. Cancelled.
wax
Any other things anyone wanted to say about...
I loved this match. I actually think this was my favourite match of the night, if I'm honest. I think because, I mean, both the kind of main title matches were both great. This one I preferred because it's a one-on-one match. And I prefer to see that there's more of a story that I can follow, whereas if you've got 3, 4, 5 guys in a ring, it's really bitty and things go everywhere. So I could follow the match. I think it's good to see Ember Moon back in that place. I think once she won the NXT title, and then when she lost that and then came up to the main roster, she didn't seem to do anything. And then maybe that's a little bit of her. Maybe that's WWE brought her up too soon.
Was she with
I
Sarah
don't
Logan at the
know.
time? Weren't they were they teaming at all?
No.
No.
She
Don't think so.
She was with somebody, though.
Yeah, she was with
I
somebody.
Can't...
Anyway, we could look that
Anyway,
up, but
yeah.
Yeah, but
Jason, Mr. Producer?
it didn't work when she came up, and now she's gone back down, and she did the tag thing with Shotzi, which obviously was great for her because it's gotten her to a point where she's got an actual women's title match, singles run. So that's great. I want to see more of that from her against some of the big names in NXT just now, because I think she doesn't need to continue this feud with Raquel right now. I think she can move on from that.
Yeah.
Maybe she's the next title holder, but that doesn't need to be anytime soon. But yeah, I thought the match flowed really well. Raquel is insane. I think she's so good. She maybe has a little bit to work on the mic, but maybe that's why she's with Dakota Kai just now, and because she's pretty good on the mic, and maybe there's something that she bounces off and learns a bit from her.
She's improving a lot, which is always nice to see.
Every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
and I don't know why you guys hate her finisher. It's pretty sick. I mean, I don't know
It's
how
not
she's going to
hers.
continue
It's-
to do
I think
it.
it's the Eclipse that I'm not a huge Ember Moon's
Oh, we're talking
finisher.
about
Ember Moon. Sorry, yeah, sorry.
Ember Moon's finisher.
Ember
I don't
Moon's
like
finisher.
it. I don't like.
I don't think it's sustainable, but I do like it as a move when she.
It's not
There's been so
sustainable,
many
and
times
it's
she's
also-
done it out of nowhere, and it's been really sick, and it looks
I
amazing.
think it looks good.
Yeah,
It's hard to
But-
believe. Hard to believe.
I struggle because
yeah. It's in current day.
the other person needs to sell it as well as the last
You need to
person.
work it,
Yep.
sell it, bop
And
it,
if they
twist
don't,
it.
if they don't sell it, or you don't quite get the angle right, and they don't quite catch the head, or
Yeah, and you
whatever,
can see them turning. Oh,
It's much like
It
the
just-
stunner nowadays doesn't always look great,
That-
and then we get like
Yeah.
this curb stomp is another one that it's all up to the person selling it. I feel to make it
yeah.
work.
The tough part with the
Yeah.
Eclipse for me is the setup. You have to suspend your disbelief because it requires
Oh, yeah, they're
someone
like Mortal
standing
Kombat.
there woozy for about 30 seconds while Ember
finish them.
sets up, and it's like
Not
okay,
always though. That's what I'm saying. Is I've just said that the times that it comes out of nowhere is when it's best. If there's that setup, it doesn't work. But that's the same with almost every finisher for me. It's why I don't like these setup finishers. Why I never like the 619, because you always see it coming. You always know that there has to be this same setup. Now he has
only
done
time
some
someone-
unique things with it.
always a surprise.
Yeah.
The Gene Ambrose off the ropes swing him a ding.
Oh my God! Didn't someone do that?
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Who did
Kyle
that?
already did
Kyle
double.
O'Reilly,
He did
yeah.
it. He did off
And that
the-
was even worse than
The
anything
double was
Dean Ambrose has ever done.
Awful.
It was so bad.
Ugh.
I wanted to turn it off, but I kept going.
Shall we jump to the main event then?
Is that
Let's
was
do it.
the only thing that's left?
There's
surprised
two
how
things
short-
left. There's the main event, and there
Yeah,
was
okay.
one other thing
Something
to
else.
discuss. Yes.
William, and also throughout this whole thing, we have to keep in mind William Regal was running around
Yes.
everywhere, really angry. Wow, what's going on?
Breaking
over
up
there?
fights.
What's going on
Yeah.
over
Tons
there?
of fights
And
in the
he just-
back. There's usually not that many
Like it was-
backstage fights.
The whole
He was-
thing is
he was there.
they've been building up to it over the past few weeks. That it's getting less and less in control in the backstage area. But
It's like-
let's put that on the shelf for a minute, and let's talk about our main event of the evening. It was a fatal 5-way. Yeah, compartmentalize that.
Putting
It
it on
was
the
a
shelf back
fatal 5-way. It was Karrion Kross defending the NXT Championship against Adam Cole, baby. Gas Station Weasel. Against Cool Kyle O'Reilly.
Boo.
Against Pete Dunne.
Double boo.
And against Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano.
With the Shawn Michaels inspired outfit.
Yes, the HBK inspired outfit. There we go. Okay. A polite
I did like
applause. A polite
did like
applause.
It was good.
So, I said this to you guys last week. I wasn't as intrigued by this match because I feel like the more opponents you throw at Karrion Kross, the more likely he is to win because they're building him to be
more he
this-
has to eat.
Yeah, more he has to eat, exactly. They're building I want everyone! Okay, have everyone and win. And I'm now worried
Damn
about
straight.
what exactly is next in his story, what's next in the NXT title picture, and what's next for
More
the other 4
wins.
guys who just lost.
Nothing. They deserve nothing. Is Karrion Kross's show, and they go back to the bottom of the barrel where they belong. Finn Balor has been defeated, so unless they bring back Samoa Joe, there's no one else on NXT who deserves a title shot against Karrion Kross.
Well, okay, that
LA
was
Knight?
LA Knight.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're going $1 Million Championship versus the NXT Championship. I mean, maybe Dexter
I don't-
Loomis?
No.
Dexter needs to regain
The
some momentum, though.
Illuminator.
He needs to
Needs to end the indie bullshit and
end
just
the indie bullshit.
fight Karrion Kross in an actual fight. That's what I want.
Let me talk to you. But no, let's to finish up on this match. It was a good match. It was an entertaining match. All 5 of those guys are good wrestlers, or at least 4 of them are. And Kross is getting there. He looks good, just being the dominant guy. He did some great spots. He sold the through the door, and he sold the double power bomb onto the announce table. I actually really like the ending also because he got a bit of the Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole. Kyle wouldn't let go of Adam Cole, and it ended up costing him and everyone else the match. Because I'm sure if he had let go of Adam Cole, Adam Cole could have broken the submission, but he wouldn't do it.
Very well.
So I do like it. It went better than I expected because, the more guys you have in a match, the clunkier it can be just to maneuver people around. Yeah, there you go. They fell and prayed.
Yeah.
Is that loud?
No,
Yeah.
Really?
no, it's not that
Is
loud.
that like
I can hear it, but it's not loud.
Yeah, I can hear it. But,
But the bass is.
I didn't expect anybody else other than Karrion Kross to win this match. I don't know what you guys thought.
So the reason that this wasn't my favorite match, because actually it had everything that I like about wrestling. It had some good, tough spots, not just jumping knees and kicking, slapping, and hey, flip, let's go. None of that pish. Did have a wee bit of it, but it was tough and pretty stiff at times. The thing I don't like is they went, okay, we need to make sure that everybody looks good in this match. So we need to have, there's 5 of them. Okay, so we need to have Karrion Kross versus Gargano for a bit, and then Gargano goes out, and then we'll have Kross versus O'Reilly, and then Kross will go out, and then we'll have him versus him. And it was like at any point there was always like they were mixing it up, and then this person has to fight them, and then this person fights that person, and then one of them goes out and then trade it in, and there's just no story. Like there was a story at the beginning and a story at the end. The end was a great finish to that match, I agree. But if you've got that many people in a match, you can't have a flow to the match. I just don't like it. I'm struggling to keep tabs on what's happening. I look outside and somebody's literally dead outside the ring. I look over to the right hand side to watch what's happening in the action. Look back to the left and suddenly they're up and back in the ring to break up a pin. And then the other one's out the ring for 5-10 minutes, apparently dead. He's got like an axe in his head or whatever. And then he just gets up and comes back in to break up a pin.
It sounds like the AEW War Games match.
Yeah, pretty much.
War games.
But it's just, I just don't like the flow of a match when there's that many people in it, because they obviously, it's like, oh, I'm so injured, I've rolled out of the ring for 5 minutes until I need to break up a pin. That just annoys me.
Going into this match, it's a fatal 5-way, so I didn't expect to dissect it the same way. I'm not going to look at it like it needs to be a technical masterpiece. I knew that's what they were going to do. Every time there's a multi-person match, they make sure everyone gets their spots and every little moments throughout the match. And it's just like watching like a Marvel movie or spectacle, like the end game, and everyone had their spot, like Iron Man versus Aquaman. Oh,
yeah,
no,
very
it's
interesting.
DC, Spider-Man or whatever. They all fought each other, and so that's what it was. It was just a big amalgamation of all these styles coming together and moments like, oh no, now they're gonna fight. So I just watched it like a big car wreck, like a big spectacle. And for me, ultimately, all that mattered was Karrion Kross comes out on top, because he is the greatest NXT champion there has ever been, in my opinion. And that's like maybe premature because I haven't seen all his stuff, but I don't care. He's amazing. Like, he's not just a standard like big strong guy with the hot girl and he gets on the mic and sounds like an idiot. No, he sounds good on the mic.
Yeah.
I like him on the mic. He's respected talking, and he'll destroy you. And
in real life,
all
too,
had-
he's a legitimate MMA background.
And all these guys needed a moment of some sort of saving grace, because these are the top guys, and they're all going to get eaten by Kross, as they should. Kross is a standing on top of 4 other bodies, standing tall, as it should be. And I'm excited to see where they go with him. I love Karrion Kross.
To the moon.
Yeah, that's fair. I see both points. I agree, Jason. You have to sort of adjust your thoughts. A fatal 5-way match is always going to be a bit more disjointed feeling. It's not going to have a nice, smooth ebb and flow. Jordan, to your point, I would have liked to see a bit more of the prevalence. We saw it at the end. Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole have beef. Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly are starting to have some beef. Johnny Gargano's a little shit disturber, so he has beef with probably everybody. And I would have liked to see them say, hey, this guy's unstoppable. He hasn't lost a single match in his NXT career yet. Why don't we band together a little bit more and knock this guy out, and then let's settle it amongst ourselves, or something like that.
There
But
was a moment, wasn't there, with
there was a double
Kyle
powerbomb.
O'Reilly and the
Yeah.
gas station Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, there was a
It's like
double
they can never
powerbomb.
team. They can't team long enough. These guys hate each other. Adam
Yes.
Cole hates everyone. Johnny Gargano would never team with any of these guys. He hates them. Kyle O'Reilly is trying to survive amongst this madness. So you're right. Normally, you'd want to have all the smaller guys team up on the big guy to knock him out early, like they do sometimes on the main roster with the
Every Royal Rumble ever.
yeah, whoever the biggest guy is in the match. It always happens that way. So I guess it's interesting that they went a different direction. And you're right, they could have done something different. And I think the tough part is, if you're a Karrion Kross fan, of course, you love this match, and this is exactly what you wanted. You wanted a great match, but in the end, Karrion Kross is the one that comes out the victor. He's the one that looks better than everyone. What you wanted is this type of thing. But if you're a fan of Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano, Gas Station Idiot, Weasel, or Kyle O'Reilly,
Pete
Dustin,
Dunne.
whoever,
Idiot,
Pete
Weasel.
Dunne, the other one, yeah, Pete Dunne. So if you're a mark for any of those, yeah, this has got to be like, oh, what the fuck? My guy is not going to win the title. How the hell is he going to beat Karrion Kross? They can't do it in a 5-way. Blah, blah, blah. It seems like they might be building towards Pete Dunne Kross. That's like the only time he had like
Really?
some competition.
Pete,
I saw
I'd say
Dunn-
of all the four, Pete Dunne had the most
That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
strong moments.
That's all I mean.
Yeah.
With the fingers and the joint manipulation.
Yeah, too strong for me
I-
to say that he would.
Yeah.
They're building a feud, but
No,
it just
if I
seemed
saw
like
him with the title, it would be weird. He does not, in my opinion, in my short
He was
day at NXT.
pretty good in NXT UK, to be fair. He had
Yeah.
a pretty good run.
who
And
watched it?
That's true. I like Pete Dunne. I'm a Pete Dunne mark. I actually like all of them, really. All five of the guys in that match, I think have their value. But
In that match as well, we had. I mean, I would say we had 4 heels and 1 face, right?
I guess Kyle.
One face being Kyle
I don't
O'Reilly.
think Cross
Yeah.
is a heel though. I
As
think
a
he's
character,
kind of a he's
he's a-
kind of just himself. I think he's against everyone.
Yeah, kind of the anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah.
he's starting to be one of those heels that we like, but he's definitely been built
Yeah.
as a heel, I think.
I don't know that he has been. I don't agree. Like he's been against Finn, sure. He's been against Kyle.
He's been built to
But he's-
hate
yeah,
because he's got the pretty
he's just-
girl and he's
yeah.
strong and blah blah blah.
But yeah, I
He's
guess. I
waiting,
guess.
waiting.
I'd be curious to see
Because
how a
all the
bigger
kids-
live crowd responds to him.
They're in love with Adam Cole or Johnny Gargano or one of those other guys is their guy. Even though you're right, Adam Cole is a rat heel, of course. Johnny Gargano rat heel. Kyle O'Reilly good guy. Pete Dunne is just maybe Pete Dunne's a face though. He's like a tough
No,
guy, mean
Pete
guy,
Dunne is
but
definitely a heel. I would
yeah.
say.
So they're all pretty much everyone in that match is a heel except for O'Reilly. Maybe.
Yeah, O'Reilly. Yeah,
They're a Canadian boy.
Gargano, Cole, and Dunn are definitely built as heels right now, and Kyle for sure a face. It's Cross. I'm not. Anyway, all that to say,
I think
Yeah.
that's maybe why the end worked so well, in that it was if it was anybody else that he had pinned or submitted or whatever, I don't think it would have worked as well as it did with Kyle O'Reilly, because perhaps he's the only face in that match, and that kind of made sense. So yeah, I don't think it would have worked the same if it was anybody else had done that.
for sure. Before we get into Regal, overall, a good takeover. Not a great takeover. It's not one that I'm going to be like, oh, remember In Your House this year? Not really. It was okay, middle of the pack, but it did what it needed to do. It moved storylines. It ended some feuds. It progressed.
A lot of confusion in the middle there.
Yeah, it got a little messy in the middle, but overall it was, it wasn't like notably terrible, and it wasn't notably good. It was
It's like it never happened.
yeah, it was kind of like par for the course.
It was entertaining, and that's what I want. Overall,
Yes.
I leave that event feeling like I was entertained, personally.
Yeah, I just think the NXT Takeover In Your House is just a little bit offensive when we're coming out of lockdown, and the last thing I want to be is in my fucking house.
Get back
So
in your oos.
It's like I'm just getting
Yeah,
out, and he's
moose.
like, "Get back in your house, because I'm going to come there and ladder match your ass."
That's not a gold-plated ladder.
Biggest moment of the pay-per-view.
But yeah, so real quick, I know we're running a bit long on this on the In Your House. One of the more intriguing parts was right at the end. It wasn't even a match. It was a kind of a cut-off line. William Regal's leaving the arena, gets caught for an interview, and he says, "I'm not sure I can do this anymore," which, very ominous, leads us to believe that is William Regal stepping down as GM of NXT. And the big rumor, as Jordan alluded to earlier in the show, is that Samoa Joe will either replace or support William Regal. So he won't be coming back maybe as a full-time wrestler. He will be coming back in a managerial / maybe enforcer role. What do you all think about bringing Samoa Joe back? Again, we also mentioned he might be a good, logical next step for Karrion Kross. I could see that. What do you think about Samoa Joe coming back in this way? Potentially.
So, from some of the, stuff that rumors and everything that you have a look at, it seems like he's coming back as personnel, not as a wrestler. That's what it alludes to. And if that's the case, then yeah, it makes sense that he might either take over as GM, so that Regal can go either to another show or just, maybe he just wants to be in the back now. He doesn't want to be on TV at this stage, and that's fair. Like he's definitely done his service, right? So it looks like Joe's going to just be a kind of personnel of some sort. If that's the case, great. I love seeing him. He's got a great character, but I know as well that as somebody who is probably, he could probably still wrestle. In fact, I know he could still wrestle. So that I know, should we need it in the story, he could probably take a bump as well.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I always quite like about, or I like to see with, general managers or at one time sheriff or whatever you want to call them, the guys that are running your show. If they can take a bump as well, it adds, because it means that, the wrestlers can have some fuckery with them, So yeah, I'm excited by it. Like, if it's all as we expect it's going to be, it just adds another dimension to NXT just now that I don't think anybody else has in WWE. So yeah, exciting.
Yeah, agreed. Samoa Joe's great. I was very surprised to see him let go. I thought it was because he would want to go back in a wrestling capacity, but maybe it was a restructuring, maybe it was a contract thing, maybe it was money. And
Such a weird way to do it. I've been thinking about that. I'm like, it must be to move him from a talent contract, which was probably a very large one because he was a superstar, right?
Yes.
Like, he was supposed to be top
Big
of the
name.
card, champion, and that's what we expected, and that's what we wanted as well. And I'm sure since then, but it's just weird to release him so publicly just to I don't know, it's just a weird way of doing it if you're going to restructure someone's contract. Maybe this is something you have to do, and maybe you have to announce it because you're a publicly traded company. I don't know how the legalities of these things work, but it is just an odd way about doing it. But I would love to have him back in any capacity, of course.
not
And I
set in
guess
stone.
when
Dirt
was
sheets
he
have been wrong before.
Released. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. He was spotted at the Performance Center. So, he's been spotted there. That doesn't mean anything.
Can you
They
imagine,
could
though?
just be
But, like,
popping in to say
yeah,
hi.
Yeah.
but the two
Pick
head
up the
trainers being
shorts.
Shawn Michaels and Samoa Joe, like, those are the people training the superstars of tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty sick.
I wonder, like, I was trying to think, when was he released as well?
Right after
And I'm thinking,
WrestleMania.
right after WrestleMania, which would have been, I guess, he would be at the end of that time frame that we spoke about earlier, that people, the
Non-compete,
appearance.
NDA,
yeah,
whatever.
non-compete clause. So actually, if he's at the end of that, he can sign for whoever he wants now. So yeah, he's re-signed with the. Yeah, it's interesting.
Who knows?
I think as part of the restructuring of WWE, are we going to see even more of that kind of thing? Somebody got
I'm wondering.
canned at some point,
Like,
and then
if they come to you as a
Braun
superstar
appears.
and they say, "Hey, look, we're going to let you go, but if you want, we can re-sign you to a different contract afterwards, but you do have to go through this process." I mean, as a professional wrestler, Frank, what do you think?
I don't know.
That was good. That was good.
Jobber drop.
Amazing! Thank you, Riverside, for these amazing drops. Well,
If
Jason,
you're going to be on this program, you got to think a little bit. You got to be prepared.
not true about our
There you
podcast,
go.
but I wish it was.
Nope.
Not- yeah. So NXT, definitely an awesome show. Thank you, Ryan, for bringing us through that. I think it didn't go too long. I think it's on par with Jordan's Jerk Fest that he had over AEW that was a few weeks ago, of course. Now, what happened in AEW this week? Like, I know there wasn't a ton from what I saw, so why don't you just bring us through it really quick?
Yeah, there really wasn't a huge amount in AEW, so I'm not going to go through the entire card.
Is that you, Jason, in a drop, or is that a fire truck?
That's me.
I'm just kidding. It's all good.
That's real life, baby.
I know it doesn't matter.
Real life. So yeah, I'm not going to go through everything that kind of happened. Just a couple of highlights from the week. One of the matches we had was Miro versus Evil Uno for the TNT Championship. This was a great match, really good match. I'm really enjoying seeing Miro / Rusev wrestle again.
Yes. He is starting to
we
heat up
obviously-
again.
Yeah, when he first came to AEW, I was so excited for him, and
Yeah.
we got nothing.
It was like
really.
just post Rusev Day hype. We were all so hyped because of Rusev Day.
Exactly.
He comes in after that cool down period, and you could tell that it seemed like he was still vacation mode a little bit. He's just been having fun, getting to know everybody. Maybe I don't know.
And I think that's maybe who he was partnered with in Kip Sabian. He was like the best man of Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
And now that he's on his own, he's destroying folk, everywhere he goes.
Beast.
And the match against Evil Uno was perfect.
Canadian.
It was.
Is he?
Yes.
He is
Canadian.
Quebecois.
I didn't know this guy. I didn't know much about him, but this feud is making me like this guy.
Yeah.
He's
I was looking up AEW. I was looking up Dark Order for some reason, and him and Stu Grayson are both.
Did he ever fight El Generico?
That's right.
Probably.
Ooh, that would be a blood feud, honestly.
But yeah, really good match. It looks like Evil Uno might have kind of leaned up a little bit as well. Not that he necessarily needed to, but it looks like he might have. And actually, the match was really good, back and forth. I knew that Miro was going to win, or I was pretty damn certain he was going to, and he did. But yeah, really good match, so definitely worth watching. We were introduced to Brock Anderson, Arn Anderson's son. If you have not seen him, go and look at him. It is the most hilarious thing ever. It's like they've literally taken an Arn Anderson filter and stuck it on the face of another guy, because he is the absolute spit image of his dad. It's wild. So we're going to see him wrestle his first match next week. Oh, sorry, this week. Yeah. He's the exact double of him. It's
that
crazy.
looks photoshopped.
It's a young Arn Anderson. It's so weird.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
They have some second generation talent now. That's like they could have a whole stable of like badass second gen wrestlers.
You're not going to be too far off having the basically the Four Horsemen 2.
Yeah,
like
they could do that type of thing.
That's true.
Yeah, wild. So that was great. They were the kind of two big highlights for me. There was a couple other matches that were all right. A low light for me is what they seem to have done with Kenny Omega. I mentioned it last week. This segment of, we're going to blow the lid off of this conspiracy to get rid of Kenny Omega. I've seen it this year.
This is why it's so weird. Why are they doing Sami Zayn's gimmick with Kenny Omega?
They're stealing.
They can't not know. Yeah,
it's not even the one to steal.
They must know it's like it's not even like it was a couple of years ago or even last year. It was literally this year at WrestleMania.
Still doing it.
Yeah, he's still. Kevin Owens is trying to end it for him, and
next you're gonna have him come out and say, "Acknowledge me." I'm
Omega,
exactly. Yeah. Alpha and Omega.
Alpha and Omega.
Oh my goodness!
It doesn't make sense. So I'm not enjoying that because I don't really know where it fits into who's Kenny feuding with now. Obviously, he's got a match against
it's not
Jungle Boy.
Yeah,
and
like Jungle Boy and Pac.
Like, fine. I'm excited. I'm actually buzzing for the match against Jungle Boy. That's going to be a really good match.
Hope so.
But I don't really understand there's no feud. It's just he won a match and now he gets an opportunity. So there's no feud involved with Kenny Omega just now. So I don't really.
Jungle Boy is over and Kenny's playing a heel, and that's all we're getting right now. So it's got to heat up at some point, I hope.
And that's fine. I'm sure something will come out of it. But yeah, there wasn't anything major from AEW this week that I wanted to go over, other than a couple of wee goods and a pish, which I guess can lead us on to one good, one pish, one good, one pish. For
PISH.
So I guess Jobber Drop Jace, do you have a one good, one pish from the week that wasn't NXT or AEW?
Yeah, I'll start with my one good, and my one good is SmackDown in general for this week. I think besides one slight hiccup, in my opinion, it was perfection. So I'm just going to run through it real quick. This started off with Kevin Owens and Big E versus Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn. We all knew it was just some schmoz match so that it could be, what's his name, Commander Aziz could could be like, oh, I only lost because of Sammy. Okay, next week it's gonna be Commander Aziz. Yeah, we get it. Whatever. It'll be good next week. Liv Morgan actually gets a win, so there's a good for SmackDown. Liv Morgan, you only live once, and she's only won once this year, but hopefully she'll win again another time. We knew it was coming because she lost last week to Carmella, and
I wasn't
Carmella
sure. You know, you never know with the way they were.
Well, I mean,
booking
if they brought her out to lose again, I'd be like, what are you doing to her? It's
give
not
her the
fair.
Riot Squad music. Have her keep losing. Like nothing changes.
I need a drop for that, the loser theme. But I like her theme. Her individual theme is great.
Yeah.
I'm glad she won. She looked good. She's now give her opportunities. Maybe she'll do something.
Yeah, we'll see.
And Carmella doesn't seem to care about wins or losses. She's just the most beautiful, and I guess they're running with that. So good luck with that, whatever that means.
Good luck
And then
with that.
Seth Rollins appears on Ding Dong Hello with Bailey, and those two together
Use the door.
He used the door. He embraced
Yeah,
the
the
door.
fact like actually knocked and everything. I
It
loved
was they're a match made in heaven, and I think it's like so. It could be, if they continue in this direction, some of the best long-term booking ever for both of them. Because Seth Rollins, like his journey that he's had, and he's sort of turning into like the Joker, sort of. You know, like he's a madman. Now he's just sitting there and laughing at like he's like a masochist, like laughing at pain and but he's still like charismatic, and he's getting along with Bailey. Bailey's like his Harley Quinn. They just like
Whoa.
go
Yeah,
together.
it's a great
so-
comparison.
They
It's
go
a
together
great
so
comparison.
well. They're just sitting there laughing at the demise of these foes of theirs that they wronged, and it was just so good and entertaining. And obviously, like his suits that he wears, the two-tone suits, all the crazy suits, that's sort of like Two-Face suits. So he's just like a villain, like from Gotham City. Like I don't know, I like where he's just amazing. Both of them are amazing right now. And then even props to Cesaro for coming through that door like a mystery date, opening the door. And Cesaro looked like he was mad, and he brutalized them. He destroyed the set, so good for him. He better be mad what he did. You should want to kill this guy. He's nuts. He's there laughing at you. He almost took years off your career. So as long as he comes in with enough, like, just like cut out the smiling and all that, Cesaro, la la la, like just kill him and just be serious, and it'll be a great match. Montez Ford versus Chad Gable. Even this I enjoyed, like the Strange Bedfellows
see it.
tag team swapping one-on-one match.
Really?
I liked it. I liked it because last week Otis is just this big brute that he can sick on people, just like beat them up in the back. And this week it's like the contrast of styles. He's like this mini Kurt Angle versus Montez Ford, who can jump out of the building.
Yeah.
And I think Otis shaved his beard
He
too,
did.
and it looks hilarious.
Oh
Looks like Kirby.
God, I
It
didn't
looks
see
like
this, so I haven't seen
Butterbean.
that.
Butter,
The thing
yeah.
that annoys me about that entire thing is that they've come out with their new Alpha Academy shirts that have Otis with a beard on it.
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
he
they
shaved
shave
his
his
beard.
beard.
They've
Yeah,
just
that was,
instantly ruined
I-
their entire merchandise.
I do like exactly what Jason said. I like that they're building Otis a bit as like this monster who is kind of unleashed now thanks to joining the Alpha Academy. I think that's an interesting mid to low card storyline that I can get behind.
Chad
for
Gable.
A bit. Yeah.
Chad Gable's the best. Like, oh, you better do what I say and go to the academy and drink your milk. Like, he's the best like knockoff Kurt Angle you can have. Like, he's very fun to root against. Then you continue with Shinsuke Nakamura and the King Corbin crown
Yes.
thing that you might be getting bored of. But then you got what's his name, the guitar player,
Rick.
You got Rick Boogs injecting some life into the storyline.
Yes.
They're gonna have the culmination match, I think, for the crown at Bad Blood at Hell in a Cell. I think all he did was
Bad
stare.
Blood. Remember
He
Bad
just
Bad
stared
Blood. That's
at,
a better
like,
if they have real rivalries. Yeah.
Adam Pearce was like, well, if you just have a fifth match by my count, because I keep count, you have two each. So how about a fifth match for the crown?
Oh, now it
and then
matters.
he just stared. He just stared at him for like a minute straight. So I think that means yes. And that'll be good. It's a good low card storyline. And then and the Roman Reigns stuff with Rey Mysterio and Dominic and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. He's got so much like going around him, like orbiting around him, and it's just all of it's so good. Like I was like, Dominic came back to interfere in the match, like with the kendo stick that came out of nowhere, and even the announcer's like, "Where did it come from?" I'm like, "You didn't see him, but."
He was standing in front of your desk.
Or maybe he just slid it from below the ring. I don't know, but At first, I was kind of upset that he was back. I'm like, well, didn't Roman destroy him? That's why he wants to fight him in the cell. But it's like, okay, maybe he just disrespected him. And then Roman tossed him out of the ring in a great camera cut, like literally powerbomb just out onto the floor. No table, no nothing. And that's like a brutal move right in front of Rey. So I'm like, it's heating up. And honestly, Rey Mysterio can still go. And Rey Mysterio in a Hell in a Cell match with Roman Reigns at the top of his game could be great. Obviously, we know Roman's going to win, but it could still just be an amazing match and fun to watch. And he's obviously high stakes. He just threw his son, probably broke his back.
Yeah, it's not for the title.
Broke my back.
I don't know. They might make it for the title.
I
Hang on.
I don't think it is.
There's
I
still
don't
time,
think they
though,
confirmed
right?
it
So-
yet.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
there's
still
still
time.
got one more show
Wikipedia
before.
says yes, it is for the title.
It is.
Wow.
Oh, here. The next day on Talking Smack, Reigns special counsel Paul Heyman accepted Rey's challenge on Reigns' behalf with the Universal Championship
watch Talking
on
Smack.
the line. I don't love that because it's Hell in a Cell, they had to put the match in Hell in a Cell. I'm sure it'll be a good match between the two of them, but
Well, if you look at it like he brutalized his son, like right in front of him twice now, it's like, yeah, I want to kill you in a cell. I mean, it really happened really quickly, but I like where it's going. And honestly, Roman is so good that when he was talking to Jimmy, like after Jay left the room, because he's put in the middle of this conflict, and he's like, I had enough of this, oos, and he just left, you know? And then you think they're going to fight or something, but Roman is so manipulative and so, like, calculating that he kind of makes Jimmy look like the bad guy instantly. It was, and Jimmy couldn't say anything. I'm like, what's he gonna say to that? Like that whole, and when he was getting like passionate and he was going like, I do this for my family, I'm used to winning. Like I actually believed it. I was like, wow, he's actually getting like, you know, he's not just talking under his breath like, bring me Jimmy, you know, like he just talks really calm. He's actually getting hyped up, and I don't know. I think he's great. I'm a huge Mark. It sucks, but it is what it is. He deserves it.
Mark.
Why does it
It's
suck?
all good.
so
I don't want to be a Mark, but you know, he's
all that was your good, Jason.
That was Jason's good.
yeah. Just because SmackDown was so good,
He
it
said
deserved
before,
to
he
be
said
wrapped up
SmackDown
in
is
it.
my good, so you should
Yeah,
run-
SmackDown
That's
is my
fine,
good.
that's fine.
It was entertaining from beginning to end. It was concise. It had purpose. There's a lot to look forward to going into Hell in a Cell. It did what it's supposed to do.
And as much, you know,
So that is
it's the
that.
one time we'll accept this because thank you so much for leaving us with Raw, since NXT has already been
Hey, you better
covered.
find some goods from Raw.
We're basically just left with
What's
Raw.
your
which-
bad, Jason?
My bad is Raw, so good luck.
Thank you so much for listening
All right,
to this week.
See ya.
Did you guys watch Raw?
I watched bits,
I watched.
pieces.
I tried to watch it like legitimately, and I'm just gonna go right into it. My bad is Nikki Cross and everything they're doing with it because it's so awful. Like it's just
So
shocking.
Her theme, everything.
Everything they have. She's like this useless thing in between Charlotte and Rhea. Like she's a joke.
They made her Eugene. I'm not saying
Yeah.
like totally.
I know
but,
what you
like,
mean in terms
Yeah.
of just being
Yeah.
this
in terms
idiot.
of use, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird. So I mean, that was pretty much what took me out of Raw at that point. I did check in for some other parts, but again, there was nothing. Nothing is bringing me to Raw except for one thing, and I don't know if it's your guys' good of the week, but RK Bro is the only thing that brings me to Raw anymore, which is sad because we have Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, and which should be this amazing feud, and it's just like I'm waiting for the pay-per-view, and I watch it and everything, but I'm not super engaged with it. So RK Bro is my good. Again, they're saving Raw for me. Nikki, I can't even deal with this. Like this is so
It's so poor.
fucked.
Jumping in there with my bad of the week is obviously from Raw as well. I didn't watch all of it. I watched some of the highlights.
Obviously from Raw.
or some of the, as we called it, just lights.
Yeah.
It's the return of Eva Marie / not return of Eva Marie.
I thought that was good.
Nah, that's awful.
Is that a good, Jason, or you think it's like good overall?
I thought it was good. I liked it. No one wants
I-
to see her wrestle, but they want to see her. It's perfect.
I hate it. It's again, you've got this character who is a major player in NXT UK. we're supposed to not know who that
I didn't know
person
that.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay if
Like
we
there's
don't,
some
but
random
it's the
person.
announcer's job to say, "Oh my God, it's Piper from NXT UK." Like,
And apparently,
But it works
she-
on the main roster apparently
according
because
to-
people only watched the main roster, didn't know who she was, so it worked in that respect, I
But
guess.
apparently, according to the dirt sheets and stuff, she will have a different name. She will no longer be Piper Niven on
General
the main show.
Aziz.
She will, something like that.
What?
But
Commander
again,
Piper.
So this is another Scots woman who's being used so poorly. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that. I don't like Eva Marie at all. I've never liked her. I have not been hyped for her returning. And then when she does return, she is basically Carmella with pink hair. I don't like Carmella just now much either. I hate it. The women's division is so poor, and I don't understand
And they
why.
buried Naomi, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yes.
so exactly. That's another part of it. Like you've got a
Nothing against
2 or 3 time
Piper,
world
whoever she may be now.
champ.
I thought she was just a jobber, like a new character, if you
No,
will, and then she
she's
just
been
beats
around for a
Naomi.
while.
disrespect that she gets, like,
It's
Well,
just
whatever. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Nah, it's
Alright.
it's my bad of the week. I can't say it was good. It sucked. My good of the week. I'm trying to think if there's anything on Raw that I could cling on to as a good. I think
you can
I
say
remember
something,
the-
like, what would if your good have been if Jason didn't say SmackDown, for
Yeah,
example?
you can
I
say
think
it
if I
from a
was to
different.
pick something from Raw, I
Okay.
think my good was there was this moment where I heard somebody say goodbye and then it all went black and the thing finished. That was probably my good. But I would say my good of the week, and honestly, I'd probably go to say good of the month was this week's edition of Ding Dong Hello. The fact that Seth Rollins' pants ripped as he was thrown over the chair, I don't know if that was planned. It didn't look like it. It looked like it just happened in the moment. And he's cutting about. And Pat McAfee, again, another excellent for the week. Pat McAfee running about going, oh, his pants are ripped. Just, I love it. It's so good. So yeah, Seth and Bailey. And even the moment where they watched like a bit of footage back and then it cut back to them in the ring and they just sat looking at each other, dead silence, just like trying not to laugh back and forward for about a minute and then and then cackling away to themselves. I love it. I love it.
What,
So, yeah, that's
what
my-
about Bianca's involvement in all of this? And it's something that we haven't talked about at all yet. Do you guys, Jason especially, what did you think? Is it noteworthy? Is it not? Like, good, bad?
Yeah, there's not much going on between Bailey and it's just laughing at each other. I guess that's the theme here.
Yeah.
I think she'll just beat Bailey and move on, hopefully, and hopefully get more involved, like character wise. Like she's been kind of shallow in that regard.
But you've put her against somebody who is in the women's division, possibly in the men's. She's one of the best on the mic, Bailey.
Yeah, in WWE,
Yeah.
she's arguably the best,
You know,
and she's amongst
you've
the best.
You've put somebody like Bianca, who's still developing and learning what it's like on the main show for promo work, and you've put her against somebody who is the best. So instantly, even if her promo's 10 times better than it's ever been before, it's still 100 times worse than what Bailey's
But
going to
she
throw
started
at you
with
on
the
a stand.
worst, and now she's working with the best.
That's very true.
Not
That's
the
very
worst,
true.
but someone that was not as good as Bailey.
Yeah,
Pretty
But I
bad.
think Bailey just overshadows her. That's the only issue just now. Is
But in the ring, she'll
in the
hold
ring
her
is a
own.
different matter. Yeah, I just wish their match at Hell in a Cell was in a Hell in a Cell.
Okay. Well, I'll start with my bad too, and there was a lot to choose from on Raw. I could have talked about Cedric Alexander and Jeff Hardy. That was pretty bad. I could have talked about how they're trying to push Jackson Riker as a face for whatever reason, the big freak
Jason likes it.
who now looks like a generic
I don't know anything about
jobber
him.
number 2. I could have talked about how Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke got into an argument with Tamina and Natalia, even though there's a
That-
wrestling
please
ring
do.
right in
Please
front
do.
of them.
Talk about that one, please. That one almost made me jump out a window.
I mean, that's not my bad of the week, but I will mention you're mad that you're taking a photo shoot 5 feet away from a wrestling ring that's right in front of you. You're mad that people are using it to wrestle in.
And their full ring gear also.
Because they can't wrestle, they're jealous. They don't want to see that.
Yeah. It's like, well, you guys look too good, and you guys have last
Wrestle
names
too good.
or something. Yeah, you guys wrestle too good.
You guys
It's like,
wrestle too good. You guys look too good, and
I agree,
why
Jason. I want to put my head through the wall or
the
something.
referees not holding them back, like half-ass holding them back, and they're like, you know, not even trying to get through. Like, just come on, man.
Why are decent tag teams, a Riot Squad, even Lana and Naomi, even like some NXT tag teams, why are the Muscle Friends getting opportunities for nothing? Why are they not earning them?
Because you missed out the key word of their name. It's the sexy muscle friends.
Yes.
The minute you call them sexy,
Money.
sex sells.
To the moon.
Rick said it from Rick and Morty. Sex sells, Morty.
But I do have a bad of the week that eclipses all of that.
Show me
And
what you got.
It is Alexa Bliss is my bad of the week. Yes, we start off by
Her
ditching her storyline. I don't think it's I don't think it's her fault.
So the
but
Shayna
everything.
and Alexa storyline, or
The
just
Shayna
her.
and Alexa and Nia and all that. That is my bad of the week.
Reggie.
First of all, she says she got rid of Molly or Lily or Billy, the doll. The doll's gone. Which, okay, cool. I thought this whole thing was now the doll is going to be her, like, alter ego. Or, you know, you're trying to buy into it a little bit, I guess, which I'm not fond of. Then Nia shows up and is like, okay, we were friends. What happened to you? It's like, have you not been watching the last year, Nia Jax? Have you been too busy wrestling six
Why are
times
you
a
acting
week?
this way?
Yeah, what happened to you? You used to be not a freak. Well, I became possessed by the devil, and then I disowned the devil because he was too big of a jobber for me, and he disappeared, and now I'm here.
Yeah. He got a new mask for one night. Only.
Yeah, and then the main event happens, and it's Nia versus Alexa, and
It was
Reggie
okay.
it was okay.
The match itself was
I was
okay.
happy
We
to
got
see Alexa
Bliss
in the ring
wrestle.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
that absolutely. And then Reggie comes in and just grabs her, and I thought this again supposed to be a supernatural person. Couldn't she just like zapped him?
Didn't she put him in a trance or
Then
something?
she put him
or
in
is that
trance,
like-
and then Nia was
It's
just like,
this thing where it was just this.
Nia's just like, Reggie, snap out of it. He's like, oh, okay. Huh. It's like,
I did. That's it.
it's like, all right, well, good to know that this
Okay,
person
cool.
has zero. Like, it goes back to when she was in the Royal Rumble and she started to like do her crazy stuff, and they just eliminated her. So it's like she has power for about 5 seconds, clearly, and then nothing. It's just it's not going anywhere, and everyone keeps saying, "Wait, this is long-term storytelling. This is going to pay off." And it's been 9 months. And I thought it was going to pay off with The Fiend. It didn't. I thought it was going to pay off with Lily, and it didn't.
Unless the payoff for this is Alexa Bliss versus legitimate God, it's
Yeah.
not going to pay off anymore. Like it's. I'm sorry, it's not going to. Yeah, literally. Like
it's-
I want the whole Thunderdome to lift up and like burst into flames,
And
spin round, and you know.
the thing is, this has a shelf life. They're going live again soon, and the things that they can do with her are severely limited when you're in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
So either she, I guess, gets baptized or something, or salvationed at some point, and like everyone's trying to say,
Live
you used to be different,
exorcism.
you used to be my friend, and maybe it eventually cracks through to her, or it just keeps going and getting pish. But that is my bad. I've gone on enough times about this, and I think at this point it is beyond salvation for me. I want her to just go back to being Alexa Bliss. I don't want the Alexa's Playhouse or Funhouse or Treehouse anymore.
No house.
No house.
Millhouse.
Homeless Alexa Bliss.
You know, I'm always up for a bizarre storyline, a weird storyline. I'm always up for the supernatural stuff if they can do it properly, because I grew up in a time when The Undertaker was supernatural, when Kane was supernatural, when Mankind was supernatural. That is what I expect. Not,
Mankind wasn't supernatural.
well, he was this weird being that
He was
lived in a
just-
boiler room and came out to claw his way
bit
and fight The
macabre.
Undertaker. And
He
had
was
his-
conceptual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was this mystique about him. He was
Yeah,
this
sure.
mystical
That's good.
figure until he became later.
That's a good way to do it.
That's what I'm saying. It was very well done. I loved it. I'll never forget the Boiler Room Brawl. I'll never forget seeing Mankind for the first time and wondering what this creature was and the way they described him and everything. And then you bring us to the current iteration of mystical, mysterious storylines, and we get Bray Wyatt, which was good for a while, then turned into some Stardust Jace craziness. And then now, arguably the most popular superstar, one of the most popular superstars, Alexa Bliss, is put into this, and I don't know. I'm very disappointed
There's
because
a difference
I was
between working hard and working smart. And it's pretty clear to me that it wasn't your brains that opened up doors for you here.
No.
Natty's the best part of that whole thing, but it's Pish.
Anyway, all that to say, I
Women's
don't
division,
want to see
Pish everywhere, Pish
Pish.
all over it,
Big Pish.
left and right. There's raining from the ceilings, coming up from the ground. We're drowning in a sea of Pish here in the women's division in WWE, and it needs to be fixed. They deserve better, and I hope it does happen soon. But who knows?
Soon.
Is this all just biding time until the man returns and dominates the? She was the most popular superstar in wrestling before, and now it's been over a year, and she can take as much time as she likes. Obviously, and she never comes back. But is WWE waiting for this?
Is one person going to fix all the issues in that whole division?
I think there needs to be like a hierarchy that we don't really have, right? The tag team division is in shambles. The hierarchy is supposed to be Natty and Tamina are the best tag team. Like,
so you're hoping it pushes everyone down into the better spots.
I'm hoping because like Charlotte and Rhea are clearly near the top, but are they better than Sasha or Alexa? Like, there's a lot of mix going on there, right? So I don't know. In the men's division, it's Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley, and Drew.
Yeah.
And then everybody else.
I've said it once. I will say it again, because I don't think the women's tag titles do this justice. You need a mid-card women's title. That defines the division. If you do it with women's tag, without having any women's tag teams, all that does is takes all the mid-card women and they go, we'll put you together for a wee bit, but then that doesn't rock, so we'll put you together for a wee bit. But it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. What you need is a women's mid-card title belt. You can still do it over both shows if you want. I don't have a problem with that.
Whatever. I'll take it at this
That's
point.
fine. But do a women's mid-card title so that you can have one-on-one matches that actually mean something. Rather than just have, we need to have that match mean something. Well, make it a tag match with some random idiot that passes the back door and then make them fight the tag champs, and there you go.
And
that's not enough.
No.
Jason, do you disagree with having a mid-card women's championship? And then I want to hear Ryan after.
I don't disagree with it, but you're going to have to find room in the show for more storylines, you know?
I think... sorry. Go finish.
No, it's a good idea, and maybe you should find more room for, the talent they have on the women's roster. Cut out some crappy Jackson Riker promo or something, and put in a women's promo. I don't know, like make it fit better, make us care more about the division, make us understand where people sit instead of just like you got two people that are champion or champion material, and Charlotte and what's her name?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea?
The Aussie.
Rhea
Ripley.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, and then you got everyone else is happy to last 2 minutes with them. So it just doesn't.
I mean, if we go down the Raw card, for example, the women are getting a lot of spots, right? If we go down what happened on Raw this week, we have Nikki Cross and Charlotte, which obviously involves Rhea. After that, we have Eva Marie, Naomi, and Piper all together. There's that. There's Asuka versus Rhea Ripley that happens. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax, with Shayna Baszler involved. So the crazy thing is, they're actually putting women on the screen more than ever, giving them tons of time. But in classic WWE fashion, they're doing nothing with it. It's just pish.
I like a mid-card women's title. I would put it on Raw. Raw has more time to dedicate to a storyline that would involve that. Maybe even move the women's tag title. Maybe have 2 women's titles on each show. Tag titles to SmackDown with Bianca's title mid-card title to Raw, and that way you don't have this intermingling. You put two random freaks together and see what happens. Really, singles competitors on Raw, a couple singles competitors on SmackDown with some tag teams on SmackDown as well.
So it should be treated the same as the men's division. Is all we're looking for to bring it closer to that treatment.
Maybe even on SmackDown have an open NXT pipeline a little bit. Have a Shotzi and Ember come up for a quick feud. Drop them back down after. That's fine.
Those are the type of people you bring up and have them job, but they don't even have to look bad. But they are there to make the current talent look good. You bring them up, you give them a little experience on the main show. They have a match, they lose, they go back down. Does it matter? No, but they have some exposure. I don't know. Maybe there's something.
But
like,
if you liked what you saw, you might go and watch NXT that next week as well.
There we go.
I quite enjoyed that match. They were jobbed out, but
they do it in sports.
Let me go and have a look at the other content.
Bring people up, send them back down. It happens all the time in sports. The wrestlers aren't going to be like, I had a taste, now I'm not going back to NXT. Like, fine, go ahead and do that, and they'll drop you. Like, no, that's going to give you a taste.
We've solved the women's division for WWE. You can have that one for free if you do it right.
That's right.
So let's go. None of your PISH.
Bye. That's not,
Indeed. Well, is there anything else you guys want to say this week? Jason, is that the wrap-up?
That's the Oscars music. We're getting pulled off stage.
No, let's end with this beautiful music.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
that's the drop.
That was the Czech Republic national anthem.
You're a scumbag.
Good one.
Did you even know though? I never heard it before.
Did you even know though?
What do you mean? Did I know? Yeah, the guy from Scotland.
Jason, you can't even sing "Oh Canada."
Yeah,
they changed it recently. I gotta relearn it.
They changed.
So you could sing the old one. I'll take it.
Oh Canada.
Yeah,
because I know that bit as well. I know the first bit.
In all thy
friends.
What was it? All thy friends command.
It was all
now?
thy sons command before.
I know, but what is it now? In all thy.
In all of us.
In all of us command.
I believe.
Yeah,
Lovely.
in all of us.
I don't know.
Who knows?
That's gonna get a lot of use. That one.
Yep.
Jason, do you know what the national anthem of Scotland is? It's pretty controversial that they still use it, actually, a little bit.
Fuck England. It sucks.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Basically. Oh.
After watching Braveheart, I have a whole new perspective on the Europe.
It actually happened.
On Europe.
On United Kingdom.
On Europe.
On Europe, really? Nothing about Europe.
I watched Braveheart, and now I know everything about Scotland, and I know all about Europe.
I know about the
William
worlds.
Wallace. It's so funny because Braun was talking about William Wallace this week and his strategies.
Oh, really?
Not Braun.
Braun Strowman was on Twitter. Drew?
Whatever. Drew.
Drew.
Drew was talking about
But the movie
William
is not
Wallace.
historically accurate.
Yeah,
but it is good, though.
Didn't Bobby
It is
Lashley also
entertaining.
say he was
It's
going to
entertaining.
cut Drew's head off or something like that today?
With his
Oh,
sword?
right.
Not PG.
I'm going to cut his head off.
Brad, take us home. I don't want to talk about Scotland.
No. We'll send this one home just like the Scots sent that stupid jerk king back to England when they defeated him. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Four Jobbers podcast. On behalf of the Wax Mamba, on behalf of LA Deeps, on behalf of Jason the Braveheart, I am Ginger Heat. Thank you so much for listening at the Four Jobbers on all of social media.
I don't know.